So now, please tell us just briefly a little bit about the history of this event.
Okay, in brief, the event began with Mr. Yumi Odom, who is our founder. The event started in 2002, and it was pretty much started kind of grassroots. The foundation was about community building, networking among artists and writers who were interested in creating comic books, but also the founding mission is youth literacy. And so today what you see at our convention 9 years later are programs continuing that vision of youth literacy.
As a young man, I read comic books, but I rarely saw images of African Americans. I could often find images of Africans, but never were they flattering. They were always, almost without exception, they were people that you would not want to emulate, and certainly not who you'd want to encourage your children to be like. And as time goes on, I began to appreciate it was very important to try to find more positive images of African Americans, or to help create or to publicize the creation of positive images of African Americans. And ECBACC, since its inception, and I'm very fortunate to have been one of the creators, has been about that. The number of people we have who come here and talk about their work, the number of venues we've inspired over the years. This has been 9 years we've been doing this. I'm very excited about this.
Now, please, I see that you're holding a copy of your book, Looking for a Face Like Mine. Tell us about that and why it's important.
This was a book that it was important for me to write. I speak about this topic all the time, and this was a collection of my essays, articles. I worked for several websites to give a chance to say something about our history and our past, and also where we're going. It's interesting that right now, in the year 2010, there are a number of people who are putting a great deal of money into films about comic books. So it is a recognized venue and a very important narrative form. I teach a course on graphic novels, and quite naturally, I'm still doing presentations about African Americans in comics.
Mr. Gerald Cooper with INVISION Comics. Excuse me, INVISION Comics. Did I say that right?
With an I. So it could be in the vision. Okay.
One of the things that impressed me as I was walking by is this fabulous illustration that you have of this character that you're doing behind you. Where do you hope to take the character, Mr. Cooper?
I hope to take the fans on a journey, okay, to show them that actual slavery is within your mind, and there's where we need to free ourselves. Because if you just have physical freedom, you can still be controlled by powers that you can't see. So if you can come out of how you've been conditioned to live, you can live the way that you were supposed to.
And is that the whole reason that you started doing the book?
Well, I'm also a comic fan, so there's several reasons. You know, I like to enjoy the enjoy, or you have to find another toy to employ.
Now, and you know, I don't want to seem sexist, but in all my experience with comics, I so rarely find, number one, women who are involved and women who are involved as the CEO or in some creative capacity. How did you get involved with comics and realize that this is what you wanted to do?
Well, I've been reading comics since I was a little girl. My father used to read the Sunday comics to me every weekend. My brother would bring home X-Men, Spider-Man. We played X-Men and Spider-Man video games, so I was inundated with comics since I was a baby. So it just became a part of me, and it just seemed natural to want to explore that outlet. And I never thought that I'm a woman, you know, I'm black. I just thought this is something that I like. This is something that's fun. When I was 10 years old, I called Marvel Comics. I called to speak to John Romita Jr. to say, I got concepts. I have concepts. I was put on hold, but that's okay. You know, look at me now. I'm here after all that perseverance, you know. But this time, instead of going to Marvel, I have my own little company, which I'm very proud of.
You know, with our convention, we make sure that the images that we see of people of African descent are in the forefront. And not only are they in the forefront, but they're worthy of emulation. They're worthy of reading about and looking into and getting to know. They're not just people that are the sidekick of another person's life. That's not what we have here. You know, when I tell people all the time, when I go to my family reunion, I'm not the sidekick. This is my family. My family doesn't have to sit in the back of its own family reunion, and that's what we do here. This is our family reunion. This is our gathering. We're in the forefront. We're not the sidekicks.